Part 1. Hiroshima. Dawn, August 6, 1945. The city of Hiroshima was waking up to what seemed like another ordinary day. Women left their homes to buy food, children prepared for school, and workers filled the narrow streets. The sky was clear, and the morning sun glittered on the Ota River that split the city into many branches. No one knew that in just a few minutes, everything would change forever. High above, an American B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, flew steadily toward the city. Inside it rested a weapon unlike any the world had ever seen. Its name, Little Boy. A uranium-based bomb weighing more than 4 tons, capable of unleashing destruction on a scale unimaginable at that time. At 8:15 a.m., the bomb bay doors opened. Little Boy dropped, whistling silently through the sky. 43 seconds later, at 600 meters above the city's heart, it detonated. What followed was not an explosion as humanity had ever known it. A fireball erupted instantly, its temperature exceeding 4,000 degrees Celsius. The heat was so intense that steel melted, and human beings closest to the center of the blast vanished in an instant, their shadows permanently imprinted on walls and pavements within a 2-kilometer radius. Everything was obliterated. Wooden homes ignited like dry straw, stone structures collapsed, bridges twisted and fell. The shockwave that followed flattened buildings kilometers away. 70% of Hiroshima's buildings were reduced to rubble. Those who survived the initial blast faced horrors beyond imagination. Their skin peeled from their bodies, their eyes melted, and thousands stumbled through the ruins, arms outstretched, skin hanging from their limbs. Children screamed desperately for water. People rushed to the rivers to cool their burning wounds, only to collapse and drown. These survivors would later be known as the Hibakusha, the bomb-affected people. They carried the scars, both visible and invisible, for the rest of their lives, yet the bomb's cruelty did not end there. Invisible radiation spread across the city, poisoning the blood and organs of those who had survived the flames. In the days and weeks that followed, thousands more died of burns, bleeding, and strange new illnesses that baffled doctors. Hair fell out in clumps, gums bled uncontrollably, fevers raged without relief. By the end of 1945, over 140,000 people were dead. 1/3 of Hiroshima's population had vanished. The city itself was nothing but ashes and twisted steel. The world stood stunned. Never before had a single weapon destroyed an entire city. Never before had humanity seen its own power reflected in such devastation. But the tragedy was not over. Just 3 days later, another city would meet the same fate. Part 2. Nagasaki. August 9, 1945. The city of Nagasaki, nestled between hills and the sea, was not the original target. That morning, the American bomber Boxcar set out to strike the city of Kokura, but heavy clouds obscured the target. The crew turned instead toward their secondary choice, Nagasaki. On board lay the second atomic bomb, called Fat Man. Larger and deadlier than Little Boy, this bomb was built using plutonium-239 and weighed 4.6 tons. At 11:02 a.m., the bomb fell. Moments later, a blinding flash lit the valley. A fireball erupted, followed by a crushing shockwave. Houses, churches, factories, all were consumed. The great Urakami Cathedral, one of Asia's largest Christian churches, collapsed instantly, burying thousands of worshippers inside. Factories that produced weapons were obliterated in a single instant. Wooden homes burst into flames, their inhabitants incinerated before they could even react. Around 40,000 people died immediately. By the end of 1945, the death toll reached nearly 70,000. Those who survived bore the same fate as Hiroshima's Hibakusha: seared flesh, radiation sickness, and unimaginable suffering. Nagasaki's geography, a city built in valleys and surrounded by hills, somewhat limited the spread of destruction compared to Hiroshima. But for those within the blast zone, there was no difference. Entire families disappeared. Districts vanished from the map. And with this second blow, Japan's will to fight collapsed. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito addressed the nation, announcing Japan's surrender. World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, was over. The atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki killed more than 200,000 people by the end of 1945. But beyond the numbers, they left haunting images etched into human memory. A child wandering alone in the ruins, calling for his mother, a woman clutching a lifeless baby, her own body scorched, a city erased, replaced by fire, smoke, and silence. The bombs ended the war, but they also opened the door to a new age, the nuclear age, in which humanity would forever live under the shadow of total annihilation. To this day, the debate continues. Were the bombs necessary to end the war, or were they crimes against humanity? What we know with certainty is this: Hiroshima and Nagasaki will forever stand as symbols of both the depths of human destruction and their desperate hope that such weapons will never again be used. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video for more powerful stories from history.